Today I got a fun one for you guys, with chipmunks and squirrels doing their best to interrupt me while zeroing my Leshiy 2s for a special trip up to the farm where my buddy sent out the EDgun Leshiy bat signal as he was being invaded by critters around his house and property, where we got an opportunity to zip around on this new e-bike, smashing squirrels, chipmunks, and a musk turtle. And by the way, that musk turtle is one of the best shots I have ever taken on film, and you're not going to want to miss that one. So, we got a lot to get to, so let's dive right in. In case this is your first EDgun Leshiy channel video, or you're the type who needs a little bit of a reminder, this is a pest control video. I'm not randomly dispatching critters in the woods. I'm controlling the population levels of a nuisance animal around my home where they have destroyed my house and property. For safety reasons, I can't be shooting up into the trees. So I built this table for one, using this large oak tree as a safe backstop, along with some peanuts, which buys me enough time to send some lead downrange using suppressed air guns like you're seeing in this video. Hopefully that clears things up and or provides the context you needed before these next few shots. I always check the Pew Pews I'm bringing up to the farm before I leave, and then once again when I get there. So that's exactly what I started to do. But as I sat down, this chipmunk came down and just started barking, which in my world is the equivalent of giving me the middle finger. Oh man, the 9mm's got a little margin of error, but while that clearly did the job, I noticed it was slightly off. So I went and cleaned the barrel and then sent one more just to get the point of impact. And then quick little adjustment, test, and boom, perfect. Right after that shot, I noticed this chipmunk sitting there right with a front row seat. And then out of nowhere, the squirrel came down and beat him to the table for one. So time to check that zero with a second shot. Yeah, that was a strike right down the middle. And just as he fell, his buddy came down from the tree above to investigate. The Leshiy 2 is a semi-auto, and part of the process before heading out to the woods is not only to test zero, but to also make sure everything is functioning as it should. And no better way to do that than a good old double tap. That's one of the dome and one follow-up heart punch. Man, I love the Leshiy 2. Well, that's one way to zero your rifles before a hunt. So I got everything loaded into the car and off we went to the farm. And for this trip, I'll be taking the 9mm EDgun Leshiy 2 and the 25 EDgun Leshiy 2. The 25 has the new sub-MOA barrel in it. Man, this gun was incredibly accurate before, but holy cow. These new USA-made sub-MOA barrels from EDgun West are absolutely insane. As we roll up the driveway, I always go slow and watch for chippers and take a mental note of where they are as I plan on hitting this spot first. Pest control is about context, and at my house, you can't walk 5 feet without seeing the impact of overpopulated rodents. But at the farm, well, they blend in a little bit better, making them really kind of hard to control. The driveway is about a half mile, and it's just riddled with holes from chipmunks. And then my buddy's house is being absolutely invaded by the usual suspects of skunks, raccoons, possums, chipmunks, and groundhogs. And today, we're going to help them out. And if we're lucky, we might even fill the freezer a little bit with a squirrel or two. We got a ton of ground to cover today, so I've got a new rig to help us zigzag around the farm, seeking out these little problem critters. This is the Birch Hunter, and this thing is an absolute beast. There's really no category to throw this e-bike in. It's just a true workhorse made specifically for hunting with design input from actual hunters. It's equipped with dual 750-watt motors and a massive 85-mile range with top-end speeds of 30 miles an hour when you really need to cover ground. This thing is quick for how big it is. Up front, I've installed this gun rack. It's a super safe and convenient way to bounce around and super fast from spotting, dismount, and getting on target. Let me recheck zero here real quick, and then we're going to get this bad boy to work. This road is just riddled with chipmunk holes, and over time it just makes these potholes kind of appear, and you're driving your truck down the road and it's brutal. For a bike disfigurement, you'd expect it to be pretty noisy, but I feel like I make more noise walking down the path than riding. Things like a ninja. So quiet that I was able to hear this guy just chirping away just inside the tree line here. We played a little cat and mouse, but eventually he paused long enough for me to just absolutely smoke him. I wasn't filming in slow-mo with the ATN Excite 5, so let me pause right here. Perfect little heart punch. So I had to guess a little on the holdover given the short range, but as you can see, dead chipper. So one down, a couple thousand to go. We decided to give the driveway a break for a minute and head into the woods to see if we could thin the squirrels down a little bit ahead of deer season. We crept along a bit, listening and watching, and it wasn't long before I saw one rip across the path and up into an overhanging tree at about 50 yards. I grabbed the second Leshiy as my buddy was watching behind us, and he has the one with the ATN on it. I held over just a bit, and I dropped the 25 cal pellet right into the breadbasket. Perfect. When that tail curls up like that, it's further confirmation that the shot was right into the vitals, and this guy was lights out. Time to load up and on to the next. My buddy had boots on, and he agreed to go retrieve that one while I headed up the path. The pedal assist settings on these bikes are perfect. It's just a tiny little bit of pressure, and I'm effortlessly cruising down the path. It wasn't 20 seconds before I caught another one out here, right out of the corner of my eye. I totally misjudged the distance, though, and gave this guy a little haircut. Some of you guys think I don't miss? Well, I do. We decided to head back to the car to get the 7.62 and 9mm Leshiy 2s to head out to this pond that's just infested with musk and snapping turtles. But on the way out, I saw this huge fox squirrel up in a tree prepping for winter. I love the tails on these things, especially one that's really bushy like this. They're perfect for tie-in streamers to snag a few trout later on this fall. The bike helped me steady quite a bit, but I definitely got lucky sneaking a 7.62 pellet just inside that branch for the perfect heart punch. I definitely didn't want to lose this one, so I saw it fall and I marked the spot to go for a little hike and snag it. In about a month, all this foliage here on the ground will be gone, but for now, it's tick and poison ivy fest. So I'm using the gun and my boots to kind of sort of find it here in the bushes. So out we go, following my path so I don't have to cut a new trail through all this thick stuff. I got poison ivy here, had so bad last year. So I'm walking with my hands up like I'm walking on a tightrope, making sure no skin comes even close to touching this nonsense. Anyways, so back on the bike for a little shortcut through the woods here where this little creek kind of drains into the pond just on the other side of the property. I like to stop about 60 to 80 yards away from the pond so that the turtles just don't scramble. There's a lot of pressure on them right now, so they spook super easy. With the 9mm, this is about a 2.5mm holdover. Watch as I drop probably one of the best shots I've ever taken for a headshot. Oh man, those polymags hit hard. Holy cow. The amount of energy these things dump just made that guy go flying. His buddies wasted no time in bouncing. Let's watch this one more time with pellet vision. You can see just this impact. Oh, man, it looks like it just hit the top of the shell and then just obviously just obliterated its dome. You can see all the little pieces flying in there. Wow. It was getting a little late, and with 2 squirrels in the freezer and the chipper and musk turtle down, I decided to call it a day. I tell you, these e-bikes on these trips is just absolutely perfect. I love them. So I got a coyote hunt, I think, in a few weeks with my buddy that took me to that rat warehouse, but we're still locking that down. But when that time comes, man, this thing is going to be perfect for that. If you guys are looking for a dedicated hunting bike, definitely check out this new Birch Hunter. Thing is a beast with incredible power and features that really make a difference out in the woods, like the dual torque sensing motors that could shift power between them as needed as you're going up and down crazy terrain or pulling a heavy, if you're pulling a deer out of the woods, whatever it is, this thing is perfect for that. It's like the pickup truck of e-bikes for sure. I'll drop a link down in the description along with a promo code if you want to save some money. Thanks again for watching. Catch you guys in a weekish or so as I dive into part 2 of that epic rat hunting adventure with my son.